Hello, chat. We're getting started here in a second. You'll be able to hear Mike Minotti here in a second, as well as our delightful mod, Christian.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so what do we need? Mike's camera is set up, so let's take a look and see how that looks.
You need to open up Stream Elements. And you need to tweet.
Okay, I have Stream Elements. I will tweet. I need to adjust my camera. Let me do that real quick.
How's am I doing?
Where am I at?
That's scared.
Fucking OBS.
Broadcast.
Yeah, OBS is actually I like OBS. I think OBS
Yeah,
is a
great.
fine piece of software.
It's excellent. It's good stuff.
I use Streamlabs, and then everyone's like, "We hate Streamlabs," and then everyone kind of was okay with it, I guess. And it does everything I need to do just fine.
I mean, Streamlabs is also OBS, so
yeah,
that's fine.
Right, but everyone got mad because they like.
Right.
They were like,
I don't forget. They were being weird.
Because they weren't being
hella weird.
open source. They weren't being good open source bras, man. They weren't
see.
being bras.
Well, that's not cool,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm there. You're there. Mike, are we evenly split and our faces look correct?
Yeah, it looks good enough. But
Yeah,
that's
okay.
kind of
Cool.
enough.
That's
People
what we aim
can't
for.
see. People can't see my Batman phase comic though. That I got
there it
up
is.
You
there.
ordered any
Yeah.
T-shirt, any
This is
hoodie
where my
from the Game
parents-
Mess?
There we go.
This is where
There's
my
a collection of
parents
pills
died,
you can see, by the
Nintendogs.
way. Don't worry about those.
Oh shit! Wait.
Those are subscriptions.
Actually, you know what? And I want
Those
to
are actually all
update.
empty.
Sure.
I bring them over here when I have to order refills, and I like don't throw them away timely because I'm a mess.
Yeah.
Ignore me. I gotta move this.
So
It's
I was
annoying.
I was saying if you ordered any T-shirt or hoodies or cups with the Game Mess
Oh, the game mess hoodies.
hoodies.
I have to admit, I'd feel kind of silly wearing a shirt with my own face on it.
Yeah, what's up? Isn't that
My
weird?
brothers both got it. They were excited.
We've sold 24 shirts so far, so
Good.
Damn,
Actually,
that's the
I
profit.
need to make more shirts.
I thought I was like, this design's kind of whack, but I'll just tweet it, and everyone loves it. So I'm like,
Everyone
okay.
loves
It's because it's so dumb.
Yeah, totally. Yes, and that's why I was like kind of okay with it because it is so dumb.
It's so dumb.
I'll have to make my own even better shirt.
Please,
designs, man.
I'm no good at this. I was just like, I'm terrible at this. I'm gonna try. I don't want to pay anybody because I don't even know what I want.
I'm
So
gonna get this
yeah,
figured out.
and who knows if
Don't
we're gonna make
worry.
money on it.
I'll just do it.
Every
It's
time I
very
see it, I
on
laugh.
brand.
It's so fucking stupid.
We'll talk about the shirt on the show because I think you could click. There should be a link to the shirt underneath this video right now if you're watching on YouTube.
You can get shirts, mugs, everything with that thing on it.
Yes. I have it set up for a woman's t-shirt, a woman's hoodie, a men's shirt, a men's hoodie. I think a few other things, and then a sticker and a mug. So I don't know. I did not go with the tote bag for some reason. I'm like, God, no one's gonna buy a tote bag.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Links right there. Thank you, Turbo Sean. Okay. So what do we need? I need to tweet. Let me do that.
You need to tweet. Oh man.
Did anybody send any last second things on the Discord? They're gonna yell at me. I didn't read them. I think we're good.
People always yell.
I need to go back and like write down all the topics we've already done because I'm starting to forget which ones we've done already.
Yeah. Honestly, I
What's
think the Discord could probably help you with that. Just say, hey, I was gonna do this, and they could be like, hey, man, you already did that.
But I think soon we might do like a tournament bracket or something. Instead, we got a ton of responses again this week to the one, so we'll see. All right.
Okay. Have fun. See you later.
Thanks, Christian.
Bye, Christian.
I tweeted. I have Stream Elements. I have the rundown. I have chat right there. Let's see. I did want to bring up. Let's see here. Spreadshirt.com. In case I need like the link on demand. But Mike, I'm good to go. You know what? Let's test the audio. Next profile.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now!
I got doubling up. Hang on, everybody.
Yeah, let's get this over with.
Okay.
If you want to, Sean, that'd be good. Thank you.
Mike. Okay, so Mike's on that channel. This is on
Hey,
that channel.
you guys
Glad we
hear me?
checked. Mike, you can hear that?
I can hear that, Wario.
Wonderful. Okay, I think we are good to go.
It's funny when you ask me that because I hear Wario saying, "Can you hear me?" Then you say, "Can you hear that?" I'm like, yeah.
Basically the same person. Shirt and sticker in the cart. Thank you, Abe Froman. Appreciate that. All right, let's do the countdown and get started. You're as long as you're okay.
I'm okay.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. All right, here we go.
There's a lot of things I like about myself, and I have other great qualities. That's a Marcel the Shell quote. I'm excited about that movie.
What movie is that, Mike? I'm sorry, Marcel.
You ever see that old YouTube video, Marcel the Shell? Just the shell of one googly eye, and it's voiced by Jenny Slate.
Jenny Slate. That's what I was gonna say. I thought it was a Jenny Slate character. Yes.
A24 is making a whole movie, and the trailer came out today, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, that's actually pretty fun. I love Jenny Slate, so that's cool.
Yeah, she's great. Money, please.
Yes. What else?
Mona Lisa.
Yes, and she's on all the Kroll show. She was great on the Kroll show.
And she's the sheep. She's the sheep in Zootopia, and she also did one of the funniest drunk histories where she talked about the history of Coca-Cola. Very good.
I think she also does some voices on some of my kids' shows. I'm like, I think that's Jenny Slate.
I think so.
Yeah, she's everywhere. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, Tomb Raider and Monkey Island are back. We're gonna find some way to make that about Nintendo. I also, we're gonna find out what is the one launch game everybody wants the most for the Switch 2. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You know how you've been kind of paying half attention, like in Slack, as I complained about everyone in my life being sick repeatedly over and over and over again. It seems like we're starting to come out the other end of it. Hopefully we'll also hear back from an appraiser today about the house, which would be like one of the final steps. My wife is like has multiple interviews and stuff for jobs because she's leaving her job here. So things are like lining up, and I'm excited. And also we've got merch. We got a shirt, Mike. So part of this move has made me realize, well, moving's expensive. We could use some more money. And so I'm like, I'm trying to think of ways to do that. But I'm like, these are like, it's convincing me to do things I've always wanted to do. And that's like, okay, let's get our game mess merch in line. And so over the weekend, I designed what I think is actually a pretty terrible design. Most people think it's dumb in a good way. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll accept that. But it's just us doing the meme of like, okay, PC3 is dead. We killed E3 and we're by its gravestone, and it's fun. But that's available now. And if you're like watching this on YouTube, below the video, there should be a link you can click on. And if you click on that, there's a bunch of options. You can like customize it however you want, but it ships on demand. There's all the sizes. Go ahead and check it out. It's a fun shirt, and it's going to be our summer game mess shirt, which I think we should probably do at least one of those each year, but we'll probably do a handful, come up with a couple ideas. Maybe me and Mike can have competing designs. Mike already says he's going to do one that's way better, so look out for that.
Yeah, but people still vote for yours because like it'll look so bad it's dumb, and also people think it'll make me mad. And to that
end, Mike, so live on YouTube in the chat, like when your reaction is right there, people were like, what was the thing last week? Is Aladdin for for Genesis good or great? And it was like 55% of people said yes. On Spotify, where they can't get your immediate angry reaction, 59% people said it's a great game. So there's still definitely people there that are trying to make you mad, but without that immediate like satisfaction of watching you get angry, you're right. Yes. More people voted what they probably actually believe.
That's true. That's good. Well, that makes me happy. Let's keep making me happy, everybody. If you are watching this show live, please leave a thumbs up. We got some super chats already. Thank you for that. If you want to send in a super chat to ask us a question, we will read and answer that on the air. You can also send a super chat about our topic today, which is, what is the one launch game you would like to see for the Switch 2? We are really getting ahead of ourselves this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jeff, you ready for some of this news? We got some spicy news this week. It's not really Nintendo related, but we'll spin it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Unreal Engine, I mean, if that's what you're starting with,
yeah,
I could talk about that in terms of Switch. Like, the Unreal's been one of the better engines on Switch for a long time, so let's talk about it.
Well, because I am curious about that. So Crystal Dynamics announced today during Epic's kind of Unreal Engine 5 like launch stream that they are making a new Tomb Raider. So my first question, I guess, before we talk about what we want from a Tomb Raider and whatnot, is there any chance that this game could come out on the Switch 2, which is a console I assume will exist by the time this Tomb Raider game is ready to release?
Yeah, I think that there's a possibility. Yeah, I think a big part of that will be the Switch 2 is going to have features in place from NVIDIA to ensure that things can scale really well in terms of DLSS and NVIDIA image scaling and stuff like that. And that should help really save some frames. But I would imagine NVIDIA is also working on stuff like intelligent, AI, deep learning, frame prediction and stuff like that. So motion smoothing, but good for games. Like that could be something that they might be able to pull out as well. If they have that tech in place, it should be able to play most games. But then on top of that, Unreal Engine scales super well. I mean, Epic wants you to be using Unreal Engine for your games on PS5 and Xbox Series X, of course, but they also make Fortnite for phones, and that runs on Unreal, and they want people who are making mobile games, like graphic intensive mobile games, to make their games on Unreal as well. And so they've been working on making that scalable for forever. That started around the time the original Switch launched, and I remember one of the first Switch games was that was it Snake Pass or Snaky Pass or whatever? That
right.
game where I love that game. It's really great, but it ran on Unreal Engine, and they definitely had some dithering and things like that to make it run on the Switch fine. But it scaled pretty well, considering I think it was an Unreal Engine, an early Unreal Engine 4 game, or at least an early one for the Switch. And so they've had this idea in mind of this scalability for a long time, and all of the tech that they are putting into Unreal Engine 5, while it's enabling massive, gigantic open world games like of the likes you've never seen before. There's also a lot of smart tech going into like level of detail modeling and how that works, and being able to scale that stuff down in an instant so that it can run on almost any hardware, and kind of maximize what that hardware can do, but be able to run on anything. So yeah, I think if a Tomb Raider game comes out on Unreal Engine 5 and the Switch 2 is there, I would be very shocked if they don't try to get it to run on the Switch. Going forward, Switch 2 is going to have much more support from third parties, I think.
That'd be pretty cool. Jeff, this is yet another in a long stream of very low-key announcements for major video games.
Yes, yeah. I Square Enix is weird, right? They're weird. This is a weird company. Like, why did they do it? I guess, I don't know. This probably is just part of... It's actually as far away. They probably just want to get people working on it. And this is like, instead of saying, hey, we're working on this, come work for us, say, hey, come work on this. It's the cutting edge Unreal Engine 5. If you want to be like, immediately start working on that and make that part of your resume, come work for us. That's gotta be it, right?
I guess part of it is like really making Unreal happy. And we know Square Enix has been using that engine for a lot of its games lately, so maybe that partnership was worth kind of going out there for this. But yeah, kind of a weird way to throw it in. I mean, people have been wanting a Tomb Raider announcement. People were kind of upset there wasn't one last year when there was an anniversary going on. So
and then the studio was like, hey, we're gonna go work on Perfect Dark.
right. So now we know they're doing that and this, which makes things a bit more interesting. So Jeff, what do you want from the new Tomb Raider game from Crystal Dynamics? I know I have my own thoughts, but let's hear yours first.
Yeah, I think they kind of turned into, I guess, what did they turn into? They were games that had like this world building element alongside the action adventure exploration. I think I want something that maybe is a little bit closer to just like, I don't know, maybe a more realistic Zelda, more realistic, or you know what? I want a Metroidvania. That's really what I want. I want a big Metroidvania.
You want something more Arkham Asylum?
Yeah, maybe more Arkham Asylum. Yeah.
Yeah, I Rise of the Tomb Raider gameplay wise was pretty good.
Yes.
I'd like something that was maybe a bit less map gamey. I mean, Rise of the Tomb Raider had a story, and I remember it got pretty dumb, and I remember almost nothing about it except there was some native dude who was immortal. We found out,
right?
And it was kind of dumb. I understood why for the reboot trilogy they kind of went with the dark and gritty route. They needed to differentiate themselves from Uncharted. Now the Uncharted series is very dormant. They don't really need to worry about those direct comparisons. I hope it can sort of go back to being a bit more pulpy, a bit more like like adventure-y and fun is fun, and Lara Croft is like, kind of more of a fun character and isn't getting impaled or watching her friends die every other cutscene, or like, like having to deal with, I just killed a man for the first time. And what does that mean? Right. And less of that kind of survival stuff, right? Like she's like, oh, I'm just here with a bow, and I'm gonna build all my stuff out of shotgun parts that I find in thousand-year-old tombs for some reason. Like, let's see, like a well-prepared, a matured, and experienced Lara Croft just going on, the adventures that have stakes, sure, but something a good deal more lighthearted than especially Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I just remember from the demo I played at some point. It was just like in a city that was flooded, and you're like swimming by all the corpses of the civilians. It's like, oh, okay, maybe a little levity would be nice.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that the tone is going to have to be different. I think they can go back to being more video gamey in the way that Tomb Raider in the 90s was very, very video gamey, and they
super. There's dinosaurs for some reason. Like, why not? Because dinosaurs are cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I think, yes, making decisions because something is cool I think should be a valid reason to put it in a Tomb Raider game again. And maybe we're misreading this. Maybe we are misreading the room or something like that. But I don't think so. I think this series can kind of be whatever it wants to be, and people will come along. I don't think they need to be beholden to trying to be some big serious game that to justify itself. I don't think Tomb Raider is that.
No, I think, I hope they kind of lighten up a little bit with it. All right, Jeff, even more exciting news for me. Monkey Island is coming back with Return to Monkey Island, a new game in the point-and-click adventure franchise being published by Devolver Digital, with Ron Gilbert, the series creator, returning for the first time since he left LucasArts after working on Monkey Island 2 in 1991. So Ron Gilbert's studio is directing, and that kind of rebranded Lucasfilm Games is also involved here, probably mostly just for the licensing sake and kind of putting the deals together. Jeff, this does not have any platforms listed. This could very easily come to Switch. Actually, at first I thought that a Monkey Island game had never been on a Nintendo platform before, but I was wrong. Tales of Monkey Island, the Telltale one, did release on the Wii. A lot of those Telltale games came out for the Wii, where they're actually a relatively good fit because of the pointer clicking controls and whatnot. Jeff, I am super excited about this.
Yeah, when this happened, I was like, oh my God, I wonder if Mike knows. And I'm like, the way that he's not like saying anything in Slack or on Twitter, I don't think he knows. So it's like it was 5 minutes gone by. So like, Mike, you got to look at this. You got to look at, and at first I was like, is this real? Like, is this really happening? But then like, the video goes by and it shows Lucasfilm Games and Devolver Digital. I'm like, this doesn't seem like the kind of thing that like they would just like get together to joke about. And then it gets to the end. I'm like, no, that's real. Like, okay, Mike, you should get excited. And then immediately you were like, oh my God. I've never played the Monkey Island games. Where should I start?
Monkey Island 1. You can get 1 and 2 on Steam. You can play them on your Steam Deck because they have the special editions. It's one of the ones you can switch between the new and the old styles. I would, at this point, just play the old style. I think it holds up really well. I think the humor actually works better when you read it in those first 2 games as opposed to, like, they're meant to be read, not heard, right? So they added voice acting. And it's good voice acting, but I still think it's funnier if you just read it. It also has a built-in hint system that you should just totally use.
Okay.
Because we all were using GameFAQs and everything back in the day anyway, so if you're like absolutely stuck on a puzzle, just use that and you'll be fine. I streamed last night. I played through the first half of Secret of Monkey Island, and I'm probably going to play through the second half and beat it tonight. That's been fun. I want to go through this whole series again. I love these games. My brother actually found my old Curse of Monkey Island fan site. That's the third game in the series that I made in like 1998, and you could somehow still go to. It's still up there, so that was incredible seeing that. But that was like the first time I got like really involved with an online gaming community where I was like, I liked the game and like a series and genre, basically LucasArts adventure games, so much that I was seeking out strangers to talk to about it, right? And that was just how that community worked. We all had our own fan site. Like, instead of having a Facebook or a MySpace, you just had your own Tripod or GeoCities fan site.
And it was
incredible.
It was better.
It was, we were all in the IRC chat rooms and stuff. Dominic Armato, the guy who's the voice actor for Guybrush, and is coming back for this new game to do it. He would be in that chat room sometimes. We got him to record a message to our younger brother for his birthday once. It was good times, man. I love those LucasArts adventure games. Are so good. I just absolutely, like, Monkey Island is top 5 franchise easily. This is so exciting. It's been a while since Tales of Monkey Island came out, like 2012, 2011 maybe. It's been a while. This is good stuff. I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too. I think that this is. I'm surprised that they were working on this for so long already and in secret and never mentioned it. And now it's like it's coming out this year, right? That's the plan, to release it this year. Did they say
this
that?
year? Yeah, but they haven't said platforms. We know it's this year. And yeah, it kind of seems like almost as soon as the Lucasfilm Games rebranding started, the wheels started turning on this.
Yeah.
Ron Gilbert says they've been working on this for about 2 years. It's not just him. There's a lot of people associated with this franchise that are back. Dave Grossman, Michael Land, the composer. It's like I said, Dominic Armato. Even though it's being kind of branded as the sort of Monkey Island 3 we never got because the creator left, a lot of people, including myself, still like Monkey Island 3 a lot. And Ron Gilbert's already said he's not retconning it out or anything like that. A little less clear about 4 or 5, but I think everything's still going to be canon. But gosh, yeah. And also, like, the art director is the guy who was the art director for Tearaway and Little Big Planet and Media Molecules. So that's why it looks cool. Woo! It's gonna be good stuff.
I think I played a little bit of Secret of, or the first one is the Secret of Monkey Island.
Secret of Monkey Island, yes.
I'm trying to remember what I played it on. I either played it on a DS, like a hacked DS, a homebrew DS.
Well, because there was that Scum VM or whatever.
Yes, Scum VM. Yes, it was definitely Scum VM. It was either that or like a little weird touchscreen Nokia computer I got from my wife, then girlfriend, when she was going to live in France for a few months. And we were going to use that to like communicate. And I think when I was setting it up, I like, oh, Scum VM is here. I'll just use that. And I remember always getting far enough to be like, there was a button that says, ask me about, what does it say? What's the joke?
Ask me about Loom.
Ask me about Loom. And I was always like, oh, they're making references to something I had no part of many years ago. So I'm like, I'm just out of the loop on most of these jokes. Mike, what is Loom?
Loom was just another LucasArts adventure game around that same time. It's just a shameless commercial for another one of the games, so it's funny. and in Curse of Monkey Island, there's another guy, like a skeleton you can find, who has a Ask Me About Grim Fandango button on him, because that was their next game.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
very
in fact,
good.
Loom is one of the few ones from LucasArts I never did beat, so maybe I'll have to go back and play Loom on stream also. These games were such a big deal to me. Gosh, it was so much fun. Sam & Max Hit the Road. Day of the Tentacle was the first one I really got into. Grim Fandango I've talked about a ton before. Absolutely love that. So yes,
I mean this is a good sign for where Lucasfilm Games is at, right? Like this
the
is
fact that they went out and made this deal pretty quickly and like did it with Ron Gilbert, who is coming back to Monkey Island again for the first time since '91. This is good stuff. If that was kind of the fear, especially since Disney got involved, is do they even know what a Monkey Island is? Do they care? Are they just going to keep it locked in a vault because they're going to be like, we already have a pirate franchise. What is this, right? And no, they're going all out with it, basically. They're basically doing the best thing with it that everybody wanted them to do. Now, I don't know what this leads to, but maybe there'll be a new Maniac Mansion someday soon, also from Ron Gilbert. Maybe that's what he'll do next. Maybe Tim Schafer can make a Full Throttle sequel if he wants to. I don't know. Yeah,
this is a John Drake thing. Someone in chat is asking. Yes, it is. But I mean, the thing that makes me think of is everything is looking for a multimedia saturation at this point. Do you think some of these things are like coming back so they could get a cartoon show on Disney Plus, or maybe a movie, or maybe a ride?
I wonder. Ride, it's gonna have to prove itself in other media
very
first.
far off. Yes, fair enough.
So
still,
I mean, Disney Plus needs content, right? So maybe at some point they could do a Maniac Mansion or Monkey Island cartoon on Disney Plus and see how that goes.
Yeah, that's what I kind of think that makes sense. I think, put these games out and then follow. I mean, honestly, I always think Costume Quest got a show on Amazon Prime Video.
Sure.
So if Costume Quest is getting shows, these games could also easily get a cartoon as well. And they as much as they need content, though, these platforms need kids content more than anything, because that drives so much of the subscriptions for them.
Disney loves selling kids pirate shit, man.
Exactly. Yes. So it's like, man, this is like a cool new pirate brand, because you're kind of coming off this weird Johnny Depp thing that you're probably going to having to leave behind. Move on to this instead, and get a new problematic actor for Guy
right, there we go.
Threepwood. Guybrush
they'll
Threepwood.
they'll get Chris Pratt to be Guybrush Threepwood, and then he'll do something weird.
Yes, another thing weird. Yes. Mike, what else is happening in the news?
So we talked about this a bit ago, that a cover of Meta Knight's Revenge from Kirby Superstar was nominated for a Grammy. Well, it won the Grammy for Best Arrangement, Instrumental, or Acapella. Was it like Big Band? I gotta find the name of this band again because I didn't write that down. But how about that?
That is, Kirby won a Grammy. I mean, of course
Kirby has won a Grammy. Suck it, Mario.
Yes. I don't know that. I mean, because it's not even like there's a video game category at the Grammys. So I mean, I remember like when we talked about this, but like the Civ 4 theme one or whatever, and that was like after
Baba Yatu.
Baba Yatu and Christopher 10.
Big Band is the people who did this, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. They've done some other good stuff on YouTube, so yeah, check them out.
Yeah, let me see. I was gonna try to pull it up.
But they also did my favorite Kirby Superstar song, Gourmet Race, also, and that is very good. But yeah, they have a Grammy now. Like, that must be something, right? To make this video with a bunch of people playing a jazzy big band version of Meta Knight's Revenge, and now you have a Grammy statue. It's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna play it, but it's not gonna work right now. That's fine. But it's.
Do you think there was any part of those Nintendo lawyers that were like uneasy about this?
Yeah, I do, because I think it was VJ Incoming in our Discord community who's somewhat I think he works in music. I'm not gonna exactly dox his day job or whatever it is, but he was like explaining one of the reasons he thinks Nintendo might not put out their music on like services in the United States is when you do that, now you have to like legally let people cover your stuff. And so I think they're always a little bit worried about how, like, what this is going to mean for their content and how it can be used. And so, yeah, I do think
they're
there
making
are nervous
so many
lawyers.
arrangement albums themselves and selling them for us.
Yeah, that's the point. They won't, because they're afraid of how it's going to get you. Like, that's how weird they are about this stuff. So, yes, I bet there were some nervous lawyers.
Oh, geez. All right. So next thing here, Nintendo Switch Online got a few new games. Earthworm Jim 2 for the SNES, Dig Dug 2 for NES, and Mappy Land for NES. Jeff, we talked about this already in case we decide. Have you tried any of these?
I have not had a chance yet because I've been kind of just all tunic all the time over here right now. But I mean, I've played Dig Dug 2 before and I like it. I think I've played Mappy Land
better
before
than
as well.
Dig Dug 1, actually.
It's different, and it's different in a good way. Listen, I love Dig Dug 1. Dig Dug 1's like one of my go-to arcade games. So,
Jeff, when you're here, that Miss Pac-Man machine I have has Dig Dug.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, I will, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mappy Land, and then Earthworm Jim 2 exists.
And then Earthworm Jim 2. That's what started this whole Aladdin thing that I was furious about.
Yes, it is.
So then moving on so we don't get stuck into that again. Hey, those Nintendo Switch, SNES, and Genesis controllers are back in stock on Nintendo's website. Nintendo 64 is still sold out. This is more of a PSA for everyone than anything else. But if you wanted those official SNES and Genesis controllers that you can connect to your Switch, you can buy them now. And maybe you should before they go out of stock again.
Those are the weird ones that like dock on the side, right?
Right.
But you can't like play the games when they're docked. It's just for charging, right?
That's for charging, I believe, yes. I mean, they sent me the NES once upon. I never actually used them because, I'm okay just using Joy-Cons. It doesn't bother me too much. But hey, the one that would matter.
In chat, VJ Incoming said Kirby music has been released commercially, so it's open game for that mechanical license I mentioned during that episode. So there you go.
Then. How about that? Hey, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is coming out on April 27th for everything, including Switch. So this is exciting. They basically like ported or remade the game in Unity so that they could bring it to consoles and all that stuff, including Switch. And it's got some new content, some new endings, all that fun stuff. Jeff, are you going to play the Stanley Parable again?
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. If I do, I probably wouldn't play it on the Switch, though. I mean, yeah, probably not. It's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, I played it through the first time. I think I beat it, but I got most of the way through it if I didn't.
Well, there's a lot of there's a lot of endings. And
right. Yeah. Right. I definitely did not exhaust the content, so maybe it would be worth playing again. But if I did, I would probably like do it on stream or something. Like I'd like to involve the community or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad this is happening. It's a great game that most people should give another chance. Or if they, if you haven't played it before, now's your time. That's
a funny super chat blurg. I'll get to that later. But yes. You're skirting dangerously close. Jeff, what's your rule? You know where the line is. Don't
No
be a line
line
walker.
stepping. That's right.
No
Don't
line
step.
getting dangerously close.
That's
okay,
okay
though.
We're gonna let this one through, but this is the only one. This is the only one.
Yes. Okay.
Also, because he gave us money, so that was.
Yeah, he did give us money.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's just read that super chat now. Now we're just teasing the
Yes.
audio listeners. Go ahead, Jeff.
Which Pokemon would be the best as a fried food? Basically, which Pokemon is the most breadable? Breadable, not
funny.
Yes, most breadable.
Yeah, not the banned word, but yes, this is line step in here. Well,
although when you read it fast, looks a lot like the banned word.
It sure does. I mean, which Pokemon is the most like a normal chicken?
Yeah, because I mean, fried chicken. I mean, I don't know. Most of them probably be pretty
I
good
feel like
fried.
there's like probably some weird Gen 6 or Gen 7 Pokemon that looks like a chicken because there's a lot of birds. You just don't want to eat any bird. Like, I don't want to eat a Pidgey because I assume that's close to like a pigeon, right?
Right, yes. But I mean, bird fat is usually like pretty like, tasty in most situations. So like Psyduck, I mean, although, it's the...
Why do we keep talking about eating Psyduck? This isn't the first time this has come up.
Because duck is delicious.
Yeah, it's good, but to be clear, not usually fried. It's usually like cooked like in its own fat. It's too fancy for that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's a bad thing question anyways. He doesn't really care what we think is the best tasting Pokemon. He just wanted to say breadable, so...
well done. Well done to get it through.
Yes, you did it. All right, last news story here. Well, kind of news story, but hey, Game Informer ranked every Metroid game. A fun little thing. Jeff, what do you think they put at number 1?
Game Informer, Metroid games. I think did they put Metroid Prime as number 1?
No.
Super Metroid.
Super Metroid was their number 1.
Okay.
Metroid Prime was their number 2. Metroid Dread was their number 3. And that is probably exactly my 1, 2, 3, actually. So I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, it's a good list. It's good. I think we should probably print that out and just send it to Turbo Sean.
There you go. Yeah. Mostly, yeah, that's a big motivation in talking about this year. But yeah, check out Game Informer's list, everybody. Fun stuff. I like lists, though. There's a bit where, obviously we did list too much, so then everyone got, real mad about lists. Like, how dare you even think about it?
They really got mad about lists, but it was just like they were mad about something else, and they'd be like, and this site is all lists. So,
right.
But
now it seems like we can do lists sometimes.
We should do lists again. We should just have, lists going where, our favorite...
There you go.
Our favorite Switch games and stuff like that. We should just do that.
Kotaku used to run those what are the best games for this platform right now?
They
Things
still
that
do.
Used to update a lot. They still do that.
I think they still do. We should just do that.
We got some questions from the community. Let's get to these. Alex says Mario gets all the fun with other genres. What Nintendo IP and what genre would you combine to get some fun new ideas? Or I'm gonna ban Kirby also because Kirby also has a lot of the fun here when it comes to getting genre bending games. I'm trying to think.
I've said it before. F-Zero and open world crime games. I want
right.
Yeah, I just want Mute City to be realized as a GTA game.
Yeah. Oh, and I still want that Wario and Waluigi side-scrolling beat 'em up. So
yes, fantastic. Yes, absolutely. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah, those are good answers. Yeah.
Chain Chomp, Clearwater Revival, great name. Says, Dear Nintendogs, you're trapped in a cave with an evil genie. He's blocking the exit, but he'll let you out on one condition. You have to give up eating onions or give up eating potatoes. Choose wisely. One choice means giving up chips and fries. The other means saying goodbye to garlic forever. Now, whoa. Garlic isn't an onion. They're in the same family. I was about to say I give up onions easily, but we're counting all garlic as onions?
I don't think garlic is an onion, but I'm also a very stupid person.
Well, they're
Google.com.
I can't think of the word now, but they're both things.
Garlic and onion.
It's not an onion. They're both. Gosh, I wish I remembered this.
Botanical classification. Botanically, garlic is considered a vegetable. It belongs to the onion family alongside shallots, leeks, and chives.
That's awful news. There's a word for it. Well, that's terrible. Garlic is so much better than onions.
Wikipedia says it's a close relative to the onion.
Right. They're both. God damn it! What the hell's the word? I'm gotta look this up.
Allium sativum. Bulbous flowering plant. What are you looking for here?
I think alums actually is what I was looking for. Yeah, they're both alums. Or alliums or whatever.
Flowering plants.
That was it, yeah.
All right, let's just accept his thing here. Onions and garlic or potatoes.
It's weird. I think, well, in that case, actually, then I would actually get rid of potatoes. Because
Me too.
potatoes by themselves don't taste like much. They taste good when you, add a lot of salt and butter to them. Like
And garlic.
a lot of things.
Yeah. You had some garlicky potatoes. That's fantastic. I need garlic. And I need onions, actually. I love onions. So,
I like the flavor of onions, and I use onions a lot when I'm cooking. I do not like eating onions.
Fair enough.
I will always,
that.
either dice them incredibly small or just straight up puree them or grate them into my food. I don't like.
I could eat a red onion probably raw.
Nah, that's
I could take a
disgusting.
bite out of it like an apple. But
No.
I also get what you're saying. That's fine. I have no problem with you not actually eating them because they're
actually-
good flavoring.
I'm actually growing garlic. That's much I like garlic. It's the first thing I've ever tried to grow food.
Mike, you're Italian. We get it. We know.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Turbo Madden says a version of buy one, rent one, and banish one, but it's binge one, watch one episode, never watch again. Nintendo TV show adaptations. Your choices are the Super Mario Bros. Super Show starring Captain Lou, the CGI Donkey Kong Country show, and Kirby. Right back at you, Jeff. As much as I've always liked Kirby, I have never found anything appealing about that cartoon show with the weird half bad anime, half bad CG.
Yeah, it's like come on in front of me a couple times and I'm like, ugh, what is this? So
it seems repulsive. There's a weird slug thing with DDD. DDD sounds like Colonel Sanders or something for some reason.
Yeah, what is wrong with that show?
The show looks weird. And then Kirby doesn't talk at all. So there's those two kid things that do all the talking for him, and Kirby's more like
Probably
a force of nature.
Low.
I don't know. I don't like it. It looks bad. The CGI Donkey
I'm with you there
Kong
on that
Country,
one. Yeah.
The CGI Donkey Kong Country show is so awful that maybe I would get some enjoyment out of it, but maybe one episode is all I can take of it. But the Super Mario Bros. Super Show is an all-time classic.
I like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and my kids enjoy watching it. I want to see the Zelda episodes every once in a while too, and then Do the Mario is a great song. And there's the episode where Mario and Luigi fight over who loves Elvis more, and they act just like Wario and Waluigi years before those characters were ever created.
That's how they invented those characters.
That's how they invented those characters. So I need to watch that all the time, so I can't just watch it once more in my life.
Mario, what do you think of my Elvis impression?
Hey, I'm gonna win. He says that as whatever. It's great.
It's
you
great.
guys gotta watch
it's
it.
art. Yeah. So
Yes.
absolutely. Binge Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Watch one episode, never again. Donkey Kong Country, and then never watch Kirby. Right back at you. Yeah. Turbo Shot asks, so how's Earthbound going? All right, listen. I'm still going to play Earthbound. So first Kirby happened.
Yeah.
So I was playing Kirby, and I finally just I'm done with Kirby. I did just about everything except the most obnoxious stuff for 100%. I'm not gonna go back and find the Waddle Dees and stuff, but I got the true ending and I finished that hardest Coliseum. And those were both super fun, by the way. Don't just beat Kirby, get the true ending, and at least try that last Coliseum thing, because those are very fun. And now, got done with that, 13 Sentinels is out, and I always wanted to play that game, and now it's on Switch, and it's supposed to be great, and also Chrono Cross. So I had to try those out. Look, all I said was I was playing, I was going to play Earthbound this year. Plenty of time left.
I can only play Earthbound while high, and I'm about to move, so honestly, it's the only time I've had fun playing Earthbound before is we did a Colorado night, and I'm like, I think I'm getting into this game. And then we had kids, and I stopped having Colorado nights. So I don't know. We'll see. Moving to Ohio. What's the status of marijuana legalization in Ohio right now, Mike?
I mean, I know a lot of people who smoke it, so I think it's fine. They smoke it pretty openly too, so
right,
I wouldn't worry. I'm not sure exactly what the laws are at because I'm not a sinner myself, but
right,
I
of course
think
not. Yes.
Okay. Gosh.
I mean, God's against Earthbound too, so.
Yeah, right. I think I'm gonna stream Earthbound if I play it, just to kind of make that first 3 hours interesting because I played those first 3 hours so many times. Yes, it's happening. Hosp says, "Heyo, hope you dogs are doing great. As an avid physical Switch game collector, I was wondering which digital-only eShop game would you boys want to get a physical release? For me, it would have to be Into the Breach. Not only is it a brilliant game, but you can come up with some incredible early 90s box art with the mechs and Vec. It's kind of hard because there aren't that, I'm not super, I need to have a physical copy of this game anymore kind of a guy. And it's so much when I think about it, Like, what would I want that for? Usually, like, limited run or somebody does do some kind of a physical
Yes,
release,
I
like
agree.
River City Girls Zero
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I'm
So I'm not
struggling to
sure.
remember. I'm struggling to think of like an example of it, and because yeah, you're right. Most of those games do get it. The games that come to mind, like Rusty's Real Deal Baseball for the 3DS. That's not a Switch game, and also I don't know how that would translate to a physical game because half that game is convincing them to like make the DLC for like cheaper. So yeah, I don't know. You'd have to fake that, and that wouldn't be very fun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer because I think they got the Hades is coming and stuff like that, or if they haven't already done it, I think they might already have done it. But
There's
also,
got to be a I think Hades is already physical on
Yeah,
Switch. I think I've
I
seen it
don't-
at Best Buy.
I don't buy physical games, so this is it's
Yeah,
just,
me
it's
neither.
completely lost on me.
I'll say it's Into the Breach is a pretty good answer from Haas.
Yes, it is. Into the Breach. You're right. That cover could be actually gorgeous. So I'm
Yeah.
with them on that.
Pink says, "What's your favorite weird follow-up to an original hit game? Super Mario Brothers and SMB2 are very different, not counting Lost Levels. Zelda 2 is a side-scroller. Simon's Quest became a sort of open-world RPG, etc." Well, I already said that I like Dig Dug 2 more than Dig Dug 1. That kind of counts, right?
Mhm.
I read the first sequel to Bubble Bobble. Like, there is a Bubble Bobble 2, but there's also Rainbow Island, the sequel to Bubble Bobble, which is like it's like a side-scrolling arcade game, but it's completely different. You're like making these rainbow arches and you're going up on them. So that's fun. There's Donkey Kong 3, which is just like a kind of a simple shmup compared to all the fun platforming in the first two games. Jeff, what would be your answer here?
Yeah, Megan in chat here helped me out because I'm like I was actually thinking about this one. Nuts and Bolts, Banjo and Kazooie Nuts and
Oh, you
Bolts. I
guys
think is
like
a-
Nuts and Bolts. Ew.
I really like Nuts and Bolts. Yes, it's it looks pretty and it's fun to build vehicles. I like that a lot.
Maybe someday.
I like it a
Someday I'll
lot.
try Nuts and Bolts again, but I don't know. It's not anytime soon. It's not going to be before Earthbound, I guess. It's a good question, though. Lossian says, "Hey, guys, hope your weekend was good. Questions for the week." He's got a couple here. One, after hearing the news about the unreleased Gex game, my question came to me, what old series would you love to see have a new release? I mean, something with 20 plus years without a release from Nintendo or any other publisher. So yeah, did you see that, Jeff? That like unreleased Gex Junior demo thing
No,
for
I did.
PlayStation?
I don't think I did. No.
Yeah, you should look at that. Yeah, it just showed up on one of those sites.
Huh.
Like, yeah, there's a prototype for Gex Junior, and here it is. And wow. Rocket Knight is, and I think I bring this up a lot for answers to these kind of things, but I would love to see a new Rocket Knight game. Actually, it probably hasn't quite been, because there was that digital game that came out like 2008, so it's probably hasn't quite been 20 years. So maybe that doesn't count. Actually, I need to go deeper than that even. Gosh. Jeff, do you have an answer for this?
Next year, it'll be 20 years since we got a 1080 snowboarding game.
Oh, that you were like doing the Googling, huh?
Yes, I was. 1080 Avalanche came out in 2003. So I guess I could go with Wave Race right now, and then next year it'll be 1080 because I don't think we've had a Wave Race since the GameCube, like, excuse me, near launch game. So yeah, I'm like, I want all of those extreme sports Nintendo games to come back. So Excite Bike, but they did some Excite stuff since then. But yeah, 1080 and Wave Race.
I will say Jumping Flash, which only ever had Jumping Flash 2 as the last game. That was quite a while ago.
Yeah, but as we established, Metroid Prime, a spiritual successor to Jumping Flash, so kind of got a sequel.
Second, why don't you guys have Rachel on the show more often? She brings a fresh perspective. I like the discussions between you guys, but sometimes your opinions line up. That's true. And different points of view can make the segments better. P.S. Thanks for the great content. Yeah, we'll have to get Rachel on here again. I know generally Jeff and I don't like having a lot of guests on. We're not a very guest-based. There's some podcasts that, you know, who's the guest of the week. I think that's good. Now, Rachel is also a member of GamesBeat, so her being on makes plenty of sense. And you know, we'll get her on here again soon. I always assume she'll fill in for one of us, but we've actually been pretty good about none of us missing a week here for like a long time, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we've been very consistent, which has helped the show grow quite a lot.
Yes, and that's a big part. Yeah, it is important to be consistent. But yes, also me and Jeff are selfish jerks.
Yes, we're pieces of shit.
Yes. Dr. Sust Turbo says, no question this week, just a reminder to have a 1,000 hit party for 12-year-old Mikey's Muckiya website. Yeah, there's that one update on there where I said I was going to have a party. I tell you what, I probably got a lot of hits yesterday, so.
Yeah, you're probably at 1,000, yeah.
I had to have whatever 12-year-old me would think a party would be, though.
My God, this sounds like a true nightmare.
We had to go to like an arcade. Yeah, we just go to an arcade, get pizza, and like I'll get mad at my friends because of some weird hormonal thing, and it'll be nice.
Well, I
Be
mean,
a
it
lot
sounds
of
nice
fun.
up to that point. Yeah.
Yeah. New Legit says, love the new Game Mess merch that dropped this week. Had to
Thank
order
you.
myself a new hoodie. Maybe a last Nintendogs merch one day. Keep up the great work. Yeah, I'll make a shirt design here pretty soon, actually. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, that was just like the game mess, like for like E3 being dead and us doing that. That'll be up this summer. But we'll probably have some more ongoing merch for Nintendogs and for Games Beat Decides and stuff like that. So definitely look out for a Nintendog shirt soon.
Yes, let me know what you guys would like to see shirts of. There's any catchphrases or moments. Not the B word.
I'll tell you what is one that I think would be very maybe even with like your sure face, but I know you don't want like we don't have to put our faces on everything.
I don't mind putting my faces on things. I'm just not necessarily going to wear a shirt myself with my face on it. Is all I'm saying. I know I'm a vain asshole.
I'll tell you what would actually be a pretty good combo. You just sort of stylize that a little bit, but we can riff on this. And yeah, if the community has any ideas of like things that you like, in jokes you guys like, especially if they are broad and appealing for like all gamers and stuff like that, that'd be great.
I wonder if I can t-shirterize Mega Man X vibes somehow.
Yes.
Bench Turbo JC says, hey dogs, I wanted to ask if you saw the animated Mario shows back in the day. I'd love to see you both try to do the Mario, as our old plumber would say. Well, to do the Mario, you have to swing your hips from side to side. Come on, let's go. It's time to do the Mario.
Swing your arms from side to side. It was arms, right?
Arms. Apparently, I don't know how to do the Mario. Yeah, swing your arms from side to side. So yes, I saw the Super Mario Brothers Super Show a bunch and loved it. And we had VHS tapes of it too. I liked the Super Mario World show, but it was like never on nearly as much, and I had no idea when it was on, and I only ever caught it a few times, so I never saw nearly as much of it. It was like something kind of almost mythical to me. Like if I saw it on, I was very excited, but I saw Super Mario Brothers Super Show way more often.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers Super Show was just syndicated where I was watching TV as a kid. A lot of the other shows I missed, or like I wasn't into like the Sonic show, which I guess you're not asking about, but none of the Sonic shows got me. Turbo Sean says we need a bootleg ass Wu-Tang group shirt, and I'm thinking like you, me, Rachel, and Dean, and it just says Wu-Tang, and we'll spell it way different than Wu-Tang. I think that would be a great shirt right there.
There you go. They won't care, right? They're show guys.
Yeah. I mean, they.
I don't know. Are they?
Well, I mean, Wu-Tang's chill. I mean, they might kung fu us, but we can handle that. We can get in a kung fu fight.
Velocity Prime 1 says, no, we can't. Dear dogs, when you zone out on this show while the other is talking, what does the zone look like? Is the Grubb Galaxy filled with the leaks, Steam Decks, and crimes? Does Mikeyplex include a fully functional Epcot where each of the world pavilions is replaced by a different Arby's item? The fans want to know. Look, basically, whenever I'm zoned out, I'm thinking about Epcot. So,
and I'm thinking of basically just imagine like a cold wasteland with like wind blowing, because it's just my brain goes empty and it's
cool.
That's all that's happening.
I believe that. One Up versus CPU says, is anyone but the hardcore Monster Hunter fans interested in Sunbreak? I didn't hear much buzz after the Monster Hunter Direct a few weeks ago.
And it sells a lot.
The expansion content requires you to beat the final boss of the base game to play, so that's something for anyone thinking about jumping in to keep in mind. I'm excited. I mean, what is there to say until it comes out, though? And I'm not a hardcore Monster Hunter fan. Like, I played the original Monster Hunter Rise. Didn't really like super keep up with it, but I'm excited to jump back in.
Yeah, a lot of people beat that game. A lot of people love that game. Once it's out, I bet it does pretty well.
Nintendo Bro says, can we get a regular Let's Play series of Mike and AJ acting out games together? Yeah, my brother joined me during the Monkey Island stream and was helping with the voices for a bit.
Oh, very good.
Jeff, where were you at last night?
Yeah, what was I doing last night?
I was wondering, I was like, man, he's not even tweeting.
Man, another night lost to the blackness, huh? What did I do last night?
Were you just playing Tunic, or did you just black out again?
I played Tunic a little bit. You know what? I was super busy last night. I remember now. I got done with some work, but then I needed to help my wife with dinner because she wasn't feeling well. And then I had to go do some more work. And then as I was going to do that, my kids got really messy. And so I had to give them baths. And then I had to everyone was sick. So I was like really trying to get exercise. So I'm like, I'm going to walk to the corner and go get some stuff, and that'll be my exercise. And so I got us medicine, and then they didn't have the right medicine. So then I had to get in the van, drive off, get medicine, come back home, and then still had to write like one more story, that Ghost Recon or that Rainbow Six mobile story. And so like by the time I got done with all that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna lay in bed and play Tunic for a little bit. And that's what happened.
I see. All right, Jeff. Next question here is from Dugan. The announcement of a new Monkey Island has me hopeful for more LucasArts point-and-click revivals or new additions. Do you think we could see a new fervor for these games? Maybe an Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis remaster? Also, is the Switch/Steam Tech touchscreen a good input option for these games? Thanks, Dogs. Well, Switch and Steam Deck, the touchscreens are great for these because they're point-and-click adventure games.
And like you also have the touchpad on the Steam Deck, and you could just set that to whatever you want, make it a mouse, a pointer mouse, and yeah, so like you have a lot of options on the Steam Deck, but just touching the screen should be fine for these games. The screens are big enough, and what you're touching on is like these big blocky graphics, so it should be good.
Point-and-click adventure games have been kind of like doing okay for a while now. We had like a lot of the other LucasArts oldies get redone, like Day of the Tentacle and Full Throttle, Grim Fandango, basically anything that Tim Schafer was in charge of. Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis, God, I would hope so. Disney would have to really want to play ball for that one, and who knows how they feel about like one of those non-canon Indiana Jones things. Even though that one can fit into canon so easily, it's like inconsequential. It's just a classic Indiana Jones adventure. You would like Fate of Atlantis. Fate of Atlantis rules.
Yeah, I actually have always wanted to play it. I've always wanted to play like all of those Indiana Jones games. That weird blockbuster only released N64 one from Factor 5.
Is that the Infernal Machine?
Infernal Machine, and it needs like the I think it needs the 4 meg cartridge, but also like it's really hard on emulators because it's using all this special Factor 5 tech, because Factor 5 was always like incredible at unlocking stuff inside Nintendo hardware. So it only recently started working pretty well. But and then there was the Xbox Indiana Jones game, like for the original Xbox, that I think Digital Foundry just did a video on this that I haven't watched.
That's the Emperor's Tomb, correct?
Yes, yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I'm like, there's just like, I've always loved Indiana Jones, even though he hasn't gotten much love recently, and I know they're making a new movie. But so I've always wanted to go back to these games. And Fate of Atlantis is definitely one of them.
Yeah, Fate of Atlantis rules. It's super fun. And then Octo says, so Monkey Island is the topic du jour. In case Mike hasn't talked about yet, I wanted to get his opinion on the series overall, especially the latter games. I have some fondness for Escape from Monkey Island, since I was a kid and desperate for Monkey Island, but I never finished Tales. It just felt off. Kept the goofiness, but not the humor or charm. Good news is that Ron Gilbert said that Curse is still canon, and Murray is in the new one, but I kill for a nice Curse remaster. Just upscale what's there. I see videos on YouTube that experiment with this, and it looks incredible. Any hopes for this new game? Any other classics you'd like to see follow up? Though it would make little sense, I'd like to see what a new Grim Fandango would look like, without Manny, of course. Cheers and never forget, you fight like a cheddar-less beef. I was just about to say the idea of a Grim Fandango sequel would normally repulse me, but if you just set it in that world with new characters, maybe that could work. 100% agree that a Curse of Monkey Island just remaster with just some like upscaling, because you could play that game on GOG, but things just do look blurry because it's a lot of art assets that weren't like, they weren't transferred originally in HD. So I doubt they still have those art assets, but maybe you can do some AI stuff there and help that game look better. My overall series of the opinion of the series is I like the first 3 a lot. 3 is probably my favorite. Escape from Monkey Island I played one time and enjoyed it, but there was something slightly off about it. And I basically feel the same way about 5. Tales of Monkey Island. I still like Tales of Monkey Island more than you do. I think it's worth playing through. I do think 4 and 5 both got a little, like the brand of goofiness was maybe a little too goofy. I don't know if that even completely makes sense. It was like almost too satirical goofy, I suppose. Like that's always been a big part of the series, but something about 4 and 5 went a little off. Like in 4, there's like a Planet Hollywood ripoff, and that was maybe a bridge too far. I don't know why. And some even when I describe it, that sounds almost kind of funny and appealing to me, but it was a bit much. But I have a lot of hopes for Secret of Monkey Island, especially from Return to Monkey Island with so much of the original crew back. It just feels like good timing. Ron Gilbert made a really good point-and-click adventure game not too long ago with Thimbleweed Park. So yeah, I am super, super, super duper pumped. Jayton says, since Lego Star Wars just came out, what is a Nintendo franchise you would want to see be a Lego game? Jeff, what do you think about this one? Because I don't know.
Yeah, what Nintendo franchise would make a good Lego game? I don't know. I kind of would just want it like because I'm like imagining like a Mario, like Princess Peach's castle and made of Lego and stuff, and I think that would be really pretty. I don't know, beyond like the obvious of Mario. I don't know. It was Star Tropics, Mike, a Star Tropics Lego game. It's the
There you
match
go.
it's the match made in heaven.
Let's just say Zelda, because you already kind of had that with 8-Bit Hero, right? So, or what's that called? Dot bit. 3D Dot Hero.
3D. Yes, you got it. All right. We eventually we beat the
got
chat
there.
too. We didn't need chat. Remember
We
that.
didn't need chat. We're smart enough ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff, if I seem like I'm scatterbrains because apparently there's a panel meeting in 5 minutes I'm supposed to join. I'm trying to find an email to tell them I am not going to be there.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, then in the meantime, I mean, do you want to me to finish these questions or?
Right, yeah, it would be fantastic, Jeff, if you could take the lead for a second here while I try to figure this out.
Absolutely. So, let's see. He just did the one from Jayton, so I'm gonna do this one from Gerbear. What Nintendo character do you think would be best and worst at taking a stone cold stunner? My picks would be Luigi for best because he could do his silly jump afterwards. Very, very, very good answer. And Kirby would be the worst because he has no chin, right, and no neck, and that's a problem. Those are very good. I think I'd like to see like Birdo take one. I think Birdo would be pretty good at it.
He would shoot out eggs as he gets done.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of gross.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We
so
wouldn't like the implication.
Right, exactly. It'd be probably rated TV 14 or whatever because people would be like, "What does this mean bodily and anatomically?" But I don't know. I don't think we could beat Gerbear's answers. That's very good.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, none of them will take it worse than Vince McMahon. That's for sure.
76 years old. Yep.
Yeah.
Or at like 50, whatever. He never could take one. From Jump Matt, following up on your discussion on Toad and Ariana Grande last week, man, we just talk about some shit on this show, huh? Have you seen Toad's amazing performance of Chandelier? I have not, but he included a link here, so I guess I will have to like get the audio going. Oh, maybe I have seen this. Okay, like maybe I'm gonna get it going. Let me turn this on to properties. This needs to be set to speakers. Yes. All right. Is it playing? Just a second. That's the wrong thing here. Chat, desktop, audio, properties. We're gonna listen to this, everybody. So brace yourself. Windows G. Set this up. All right. Here it goes. You should be able to hear it now. It's very loud.
Oh my god, that person's voice is just dead.
That's beautiful.
No!
And thank you for bringing this to our attention.
You get stalked now, Jeff.
I'm sorry. I'm transfixed. Listen, Mike, you put me in charge here, and this is what you get now.
Yeah, I think I've solved this issue, so I can go back now for this last one. Winnie!
Yep.
Has Square already just drafted the statement about being disappointed with the new Tomb Raider sales? Any chance of a Lara Croft collection on Switch of the old games?
Probably not.
Man, that'd be sweet if they would like remaster like 1, 2, 3, at least. That'd be kind of fun. I kind of do want to play those old ass Tomb Raider games, man.
Yeah, I don't know how many of those I actually like really played. I know I played Tomb Raider 2 because everyone in the world like legally had to play Tomb Raider 2. But I didn't play much of 1, and I don't think I played much of 3 or anything after that.
I'm excited playing them specifically because they don't hold up, right? Like their tank controls, they're such relics of a long time. Like they literally do not make games like that anymore.
Right.
And for a while they made a ton of games like that. It was so like influential and all this stuff, and then it's just had to evolve and turn into basically a completely different game series. So it'd be kind of fun to go back to those. Yeah, Jeff, I mean, how do you think the new Tomb Raider is actually going to sell?
I don't know. I mean, probably not enough for Square Enix. I don't know. It'll probably do probably pretty okay, and they'll, especially as being a reboot, they'll give them a chance to do marketing all over again and get people really excited about changing things up. But it's probably not going to be a 20 million seller. It'll probably be like a strong 6 or 7 million seller, and that should be fine for that series.
I mean, they can't be too mad if it sells about as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake, right?
I would hope not.
Which is a game they've never once like thrown under the bus, even though it seems like it's doing fine. It's not they're probably not upset about it, but it also maybe feels like that game should have sold more.
Yes, absolutely. Mike, I got a bunch of super chats here. Should I read
Let's
some
hear
of them?
about the super chats. That would make me happy.
All right, let me see here. We got one here from an hour ago from God Rizla, who I believe is in the Wu-Tang group.
Nice.
Looking forward to that House of the Dead remake. I still don't know how it's got to just be waggle control. But yeah, they're remaking House of the Dead.
I wonder if it's on the screen. If you're just doing handheld, can you just click on them? I don't know. I don't know if you can go back home again with House of the Dead. I think I either need to be in an arcade or I need to have my Dreamcast with the light gun peripheral.
Right. Give me the gun con. From Supernova, $1 super chat with no message, but thank you, Supernova. From Possin Theory, create a poll asking, have you hit the like button with yes, no as the options? That's a good idea. It would be weird if you hit no, Rex. You're willing to do it. And you're just sitting there watching.
If you're a mean jerk to me, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Just hit yes. Just like it.
I mean, basically, we have that poll. There's 326 people watching and 115 likes. So over 200 people basically emotionally hitting the no button on me right now. From Don Otaku, does Crystal Dynamics announcing a new Tomb Raider impede the chances of Xbox acquiring them? I mean, I guess. They were probably not really going to acquire them anytime soon. They're probably going to at least get through Perfect Dark before that happened, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're acquiring them anytime soon, but also we've seen Xbox be totally okay with studios like fulfilling old obligations and whatnot and what have you. Now, this is a bit more complicated than just an old obligation, right?
They would just buy Tomb Raider at the same time, right? Wouldn't they just buy Tomb Raider with Crystal Dynamics? Probably.
Maybe. But don't forget, they already spent a lot of that money that one time on Rise of the Tomb Raider exclusive stuff, and were they super happy with that?
No one was happy about that. From Kyle Martin, good afternoon. Ideal launch game for a new Switch for me would have to be a Mario hockey spinoff in the vein of Mario Strikers. I would love it. They're never going to do it. Hockey is too small compared to other sports where they could just do soccer and it's like a worldwide appeal or whatever.
Yeah, that's too bad though, because it would be relatively easy to translate Strikers into what'd you call that, sliders, puckers. It'd be great if you can get into fights and then it just turns into a Smash Brothers match.
Yeah, so or that wrestling game that got canceled from them.
Right. Oh, well, I get sad with you just bringing that up now.
I mean, we were denied something that was going to be beautiful. That studio making a wrestling game with all those characters. Oh God,
would have been so good. Holy crap! Please.
From Don Otaku, as long as the Switch 2 has somewhat comparable CPU and SSD, devs will be able to get their games on it much easier, even if the GPU isn't powerful. And it'll probably be fine. It'll have a fast CPU for sure, and it should have an SSD by then, yes. From Anti-Macro, after crushing my DA dreams, and that's Dragon Age, I want Grubb and Mike to tell people to follow me on Twitter. Yeah, well, I'll do that right now. Everybody follow Anti-Macro. You're welcome.
Do it, or else I'll crush your dreams next. Apparently.
That's right. Well, some people might want that, Mike. From Don Otaku, also ideal launch game would be a new 1080p snowboarding.
A new 1080 so much that time.
A new 1080 snowboarding because I want a new 1080 snowboarding, especially after playing a lot of Shredders. Yeah, I was enjoying Shredders, and I'm like, but it still just makes me want 1080. Maybe to come out and it'll be disappointing because nothing will be as good as that first time I played 1080 on N64, but whatever. From Kyrie Williams, not to read in this too much, but with the announcement of the new Tomb Raider, does this shut down the idea of Xbox acquiring Crystal from Square? Nothing shuts it down. If the money's right, everyone involved will just make it work. But
it doesn't. I think it makes it weirder for them to acquire just Crystal Dynamics. I don't think it would, or anybody doing that. I don't think it would hurt anybody buying just Square Enix, because then they would just get that studio and get that property.
And that might be the thinking, because you keep everything together, you're worth more as a whole.
if anything, you think this is part of them being like, wow, we're even more valuable than you thought anybody thinking about buying us, because Crystal Dynamics is making a new Tomb Raider with Unreal Engine 5, and look how excited people are about that.
Right, exactly. From Supernova, Morpheus, what have I told you that this is Morpheus : all right. What if I told you that the new Tomb Raider will be released before Perfect Dark? Yeah, probably not. Probably not going to happen, but we'll see.
That'd be funny, though.
Yeah, it would be very funny. We read this one from Blurg. Shout out to Breadable. RDX, son of a fat. That Coalition Unreal Engine 5 demo today is crazy. It looked very, very nice, but I mean, that's what tech demos are meant to do, and it accomplished that. But if hopefully they are able to carry forward all of that tech and all of that capability to a real game.
I mean, we already forget about the last tech demo. Like, remember the first Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, just the girl going through some rocks or something, right?
Right, and all that.
People already forget.
Yes, exactly. And it's because it doesn't really matter. It's just a tech demo in the end of the day. But this is a real studio making a tech demo, so them getting familiar with Unreal Engine 5 does have implications beyond just like, oh, this being a tech demo. All right. Yeah, I think we're all caught up here on the super chats. If anyone else has more they want to send in, we will get to them before the end of the show.
Yes. Now, Jeff, we got some answers from those super chats about this, but I want to hear from you. What is the one launch game you want to see on the Switch 2?
Yes. I mean, for me, I would like it to be, even though I said on Grubb Snacks I was convinced that maybe that Mario game will come out this year, or the Mario team game will come out this year. I would want that team to make a Donkey Kong game, but you don't play as Donkey Kong, you play as Mario, but it's called Donkey Kong in the same way that the Game Boy Donkey Kong was, and it is a 3D sequel to that game. That's what I want. I think that is like a way to do something new with Mario while still building on what you've done with Odyssey. It's just a series of interconnected worlds. But the worlds are about like verticality and jumping up and rescuing Daisy or Princess Peach or whatever from Donkey Kong, dodging stuff and having like, you could see them like on that path with like the giant Bowser stuff that happened in Bowser's Fury and stuff like that. Just kind of maybe shrink that down a little bit, make it Donkey Kong, and yeah, I think that would be fantastic. That's what I want.
I'm kind of similar to you, but a bit less specific, where I just want the Mario team's next game. Presumably, even if it's just a Mario Odyssey 2 or whatever Mario 3D platformer, that would make me happy. The Mario Odyssey was still my favorite game the last 10 years, probably. It's always kind of neat having a Mario game at launch. And we haven't had a Mario 3D platformer at launch since really... Like not counting like Mario 64 DS, right? And we had a new Super Mario Brothers for the Wii U,
right?
But it's been a while since one of those has been a launch day thing. Really,
since Mario 64, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up, actually.
Yeah, right.
Because it was Mario Brothers, Super Mario World, Mario 64.
It used to be like a thing, like, oh well, they have to do this. Remember, everybody was like scandalized when the GameCube didn't have one.
Right,
it had Luigi's
and now it's normal.
Instead. Right. Now it's just like, oh yeah, of course there's not a Mario game yet. So, but the timing kind of works out here. I think that there's no way in hell the Mario team's game comes out this year. I'll shave my beard off if that happens. I think you're a wrong dummy.
Yeah, I'm probably a wrong dummy. I got thinking about it, and I'm like, right now is when they're going to have the best chance to sell as many copies as possible. But Zelda isn't here, and they're probably not going to do anything big like that before Zelda comes out.
Pokemon.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying the system needs it. I'm saying that if you were to release that game, you release it before the next Switch instead of after the next Switch, but whatever.
Jeff, we have once again gotten just a ton of responses from the community, so much so that I might have to not...
edit them.
I might abbreviate these a little bit. There's some long ones. We got, again, 4 pages
that's
of
fine. Yeah, you kind of give the answer and read the gist, and yeah, that's fine.
But Alex says, Mario gets... Oh, no, this is the question inside. Here we go. VJ Incoming says, Metroid Prime 4, that's it. That's the tweet. And then Creators Make Basketball, right after that, says Metroid Prime 4 is the correct answer. Jeff, are you thinking Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a Switch 2 game now?
It's going to be it'll be a cross-gen game. I do think it'll be the cross-gen game. It's going to be the game that straddles.
When you say straddle, do you mean like it comes out on Switch and then when the Switch 2 comes out, it gets a port to that? Or
I think it comes out the same day.
On the both day?
It comes out the same day. It comes out the day the Switch 2 launches, and it's on both platforms. That's what I think.
So Breath of the Wild style.
Yes, and
Breath of
like
the Wild style. It's fun to say.
all the yes, it sounds like a Will Smith song. But it's basically all the recent Zelda games, like or for the most part, like doing that same thing. It'll do it here. Yeah.
MN Goldie says, give me a mainline Mario game. Super NES launches with Mario World, N64 with Mario 64. It's a pretty good track record for Mario console launches. I didn't say NES because I guess there's controversy if Mario Bros. Was available in the US when the console launched or not. Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, basically, at least in the NES, we had Mario Bros. From the beginning. Yeah, I mean, although, as we said, like, after Mario 64, and that was a long time ago, it's been a little bit more spotty. I will say that these days, they probably are thinking it's a good idea to have at least a Mario or Zelda game for launch. And, they could, I guess, just release Breath of the Wild, 2 again on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Or, we do some, like upgraded bundle of Breath of the Wild 1 and 2 for Switch 2 or something. But I think they're going to want a new game, and I think it's going to be the Mario game. Alex says Mario Kart 8 Ultra Deluxe. Less likely, I'd like to see something new, either taking a current character in another direction, such as Luigi's Mansion RPG spinoff, or something completely out of left field, or even just an entirely new IP that isn't ARMS or 1-2-Switch levels of forgettable. I don't think ARMS is that forgettable. I just think it's a game that desperately calls for a follow-up that expands on things and improves on things. And I think we're going to get an ARMS 2 at some point, maybe on the Switch 2. Soysuke says, if I had to pick one, it's going to be a new Fire Emblem. Give us a nice 1440p resolution or 1080p 3D game like Three Houses. I really want to see them push the Switch 2 to the limit and do fun and new stuff for Fire Emblem. Also, so many new waifus. Yeah, Jeff, what graphics card will give us the best waifus? What does Nintendo need to order here?
Yeah, they're gonna have to go with that latest NVIDIA Tegra stuff, and that's gonna able. I mean, you might as well just call it Fire Emblem : 256 waifus, just like that Mario 128 demo.
Yeah. 358 over 2 waifus.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
CCR Chain Chomp Clearwater Revival says, easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's Animal Crossing. More specifically, it's the graphic and sounds from New Horizons melded with the villagers with actual personalities and interesting dialogue from the GameCube version. He goes on here a bit about that. I wonder if that's is that a popular opinion that as good as the content is from New Horizons, the villagers have gotten worse as the series has gone on?
Yes, it is. It's there's just less things to do with them, less interactions. They comment in there are fewer comments from them. They have variety. They've improved that slightly with some updates, but it's not at the level of the most recent Animal Crossing games. It's a little weird.
Interesting. I mean, Animal Crossing on launch, that seems weird. Just because it hasn't happened, I guess. I just have a
right now. Animal Crossing seems like the kind of game that you launch once there's a certain amount out there, and there's a Switch 2 Lite. So you can kind of reach an audience that's I'll pay $200 for the system, and I'm not gonna pay $350 or whatever.
Dayton says, I think that would what would get me hyped for Switch 2 launch is Super Mario Odyssey 2. Love the first one. I think there are lots of possibilities for more worlds to be in the game. Yes. Do you think Mario Odyssey 2 or whatever it is going to be level based again, or do you think they're going to go for the big open world thing, kind of
I think they'll go
Bowser's Fury?
I think they'll go big open spaces, and there'll probably be a few of them. There'll probably be 3 main big worlds or something like that.
Witcher 3 style.
Yes, basically the Witcher 3 of Mario games.
Yes. All right, gotcha. Lossian says Mario Kart Ultimate is the launch game. I want to see with 96 courses and a large number of Nintendo characters and third-party characters. It's funny because everybody's like, where's Mario Kart 9? And we got the DLC, which is nice, but I feel like that also pushes back a Mario Kart Ultimate a little bit further out, right? I don't know if that's going to be a launch game.
No.
Turbo Mattis says, a new F-Zero. Please, it's long overdue to get a new game in the series, and think about how much of a visual showcase a new F-Zero would look on the Switch 2. We need an F-Zero in the style of X or GX on the next Switch. I think this would be our best chance to get a new F-Zero, actually.
Yeah.
Because there is a simplicity to F-Zero that maybe makes Nintendo shy away from it. You can kind of get away with simplicity when something is a launch game, can't you?
Agree, yes. That seems like... I'm hopeful for that. That'd be nice, and it'd be the kind of thing that would make sense, because I think people would be very excited for it and very forgiving. So if it's not some super fleshed out idea, it's no, it's F-Zero. It's a launch game. It's one of the few launch games for this thing. I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I think you're right.
Jamie H1224 says, for me, it's Shovel Knight 64. So my launch day Switch, and while I was waiting for my copy of Breath of the Wild to arrive, I replayed through the main campaign along with Plague and Spectre campaign.
On that, and I did incorrectly. So next time, maybe. All right, let me I'll unpause and then come back.
Nobody said anything when I was like, oh, I can't make this meeting. So I imagine they're all just quietly mad at me. I don't know.
All right, Mike. We have a technical difficulty there, but we got most of the way through that answer with the elder. Yeah, I think Bandai Namco and Nintendo have pretty good relationships, but I don't know if Nintendo's being thoughtful enough to be like, hey, it would run really great on the Switch too. Here's what you need to do to make it happen. Here's all the specs. They're probably not doing that.
It just seems like such a win-win. Like we've seen things like Witcher 3 and Skyrim do well on the Switch. Like Elden Ring would do so well.
Yes.
It's not, and it's not like the most, like as great as it is, as big as it is, it's not the most graphically intense game ever. Like,
no,
you would hope it would work on a Switch too.
It just needs to have precached shaders like it does on, like that's what they do on Steam Deck to make it run so well. You would just, by then, you would have a Game of the Year edition. You would just make sure that version precaches shaders and launch it on the Switch. It would be
All
fine.
Right. That's, we just got precast shaders, of course.
Of course.
Let's see here now. From BG says, give me Excite World, a Riders Republic style change your vehicle whenever racer in a massive map. They could make it their Forza Horizon.
I love it.
That'd be great. I would like it. Don't know if they're going to do it. I would like it. Jedi Moss 4 says, it's time for Red Steel 3. Let's bring it back, Ubisoft. That's the least likely one so far.
Yes. But still, I like it.
Although I say that, and then Reese Elliott says Nintendo chickens, so I guess Red Steel 3 is more likely to happen.
I am totally, from now on, I'm going to imagine Reese Elliott is just gonzo and has a thing for chickens.
Oh, there you go. So he wants to, because he's attracted to the chickens.
Yes, he's married to one, yes.
Jeez.
Gonzo's thing for chickens always gets me.
The whole Gonzo chicken thing was an important part of like early Muppets, and then it like most of the '90s Muppet stuff that was not really a thing, and then they just hardcore brought it back.
Yes, because Muppet Babies, it's like he's just like got Camilla there, and they just treat it like it's normal. I'm like, this is great. This is fantastic.
Like the Gonzo I grew up with was not in love with the chicken, so it all threw me off for a while. I had to get used to that. Robham says Golden Sun, because we have to have Golden Sun for an answer for every topic from at least somebody, usually Robham. Tink, serious answer, Mario Odyssey 2, or whichever big 3D Mario they're working on. I miss the days of Nintendo consoles launching with a Mario showpiece. Dumb thing I want is Pilot Wings Switch. Man, Pilot Wings is another one that maybe you could sneak in there as a launch thing.
Yeah, I would actually love that. I think
was the 3DS Pilot Wings a launch game, or was that launch window?
It was very close to launch. If it wasn't, if it was launch window, if it wasn't launch, it was in that range. So it was definitely something like you would pick up early. That game's always sort of a launch game. It's it is often like their tech demo that they just build out and they show people like what you could do with the system. I don't know if they feel like they need one of those for this next thing. That was the last time that was 1-2 switch, so I would definitely prefer a Pilot Wings over that.
Wildfire Alex says Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime 4, and oh yeah, Metroid Prime 4. Hosp says my heart says Pikmin 4, a huge chance to showcase what they have been cooking up for many years now. My head says this won't happen. Even being a launch title still won't help the series grow beyond 2-ish million copies. So I will take a new 2D or 3D Donkey Kong. It's well overdue, as Tropical Freeze is so damn good and old now. Yeah, the problem with again, if this Mario Team Donkey Kong game isn't true, then who's making a Donkey Kong game? Because it's not going to be Rare. It's not going to be retro. So who knows? Pikmin 4 is kind of interesting because timing-wise, that could work out.
Right.
Just the idea of Pikmin as a launch game is kind of hard to buy for whatever reason.
Because it's like it needs as many people as possible just to break 3 million in sales, right?
Pikmin 1 was launch window-ish. It was close, but not quite there.
Yeah.
Maybe I wonder if the whole thing might have gone better if Pikmin 1 just came out a couple months earlier and was a launch game. I don't know. Maybe. Dan Park, Mark 3 says, for me, I want to see a new 3D Mario game. Odyssey did so much for the overall health of the first Switch that I feel it would be necessary for this iteration to be decked out with a new Mario game, new Zelda, and a fully realized Mario Kart 8. I've always said that all I have to do is flip that 890 degrees and you get the infinity symbol. So let's just make Mario Kart a service game. See? Yeah, I see. No, he's right. Mario Kart Infinite. Turbo Sean says, a proper successor to the Switch will inevitably have a notably more powerful CPU, and Nintendo needs a game to properly show off that extra horsepower They need a crap ton of things on screen, all running at a silky smooth frame rate. They need F-Zero. 99 F-Zero machines drop into Mute City on extra wide tracks. Last racer standing takes the glory. Honorable mention goes to a new Star Fox game because Crystal in 4K. You. Gross. F-Zero is a popular answer here. And
That's a good
I
answer.
definitely get behind that, yeah. Quake 6 says, for me, it would probably be Xenoblade Chronicles X sequel. X was limited by the hardware of the Wii U, and I feel like a successor could be an early technical showcase for whatever the Switch successor ends up being, or just port over Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'd also be morbidly curious to see Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch sequel. That'd be interesting. I think the timing for another Xenoblade that soon after 3 comes out might be a little rough.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe a port of the first X might finally happen. Ed says, Animal Crossing for me. I loved New Horizons, but there's a lot that can be improved on. They perfected the creative customization aspect of the game, so I hope it's that they use it as a base for a sequel that has more focus on the social side. More things to do with villagers and friends, like mini games, more collectibles, conversation options, more frequent shop updates, more special areas. Hopefully a realistic choice if Swanshoe launches in 2024. Nintendo EPD5 could start work on it following Splatoon 3's launch this summer. Yeah, that kind of makes some sense. I still feel like Animal Crossing is more of a year 2, year 3 kind of a thing, though. Not a launch game.
Yes, I tend to agree with that, but I wouldn't say no to it.
Beef Hammer says, I want to see Nintendo write one of the biggest wrongdoings on the Switch and have the next Kingdom Hearts game be a launch title for Switch 2. If many past Kingdom Hearts games were exclusive to Nintendo consoles, the Switch instead only got bad cloud versions of old games. They also got Melody of Memory or Memory of Melody, whatever it is. Plus, all Nintendo fans love Kingdom Hearts, especially its exceptional storytelling and plot, so no one would complain about this. Yeah, Jeff would be super happy. I wonder if they're going to do another. I wonder if the Kingdom Hearts spin-off games are ever going to become as close to mainline games as Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep did, or if the spin-off games are going to be real spin-offy, like Melody of Memory or Memory of Melody. I can never remember which order those words go. Dr. Turbo says the right answer is Luigi's Mansion 4. If they come right out with a big hitter like that, there's no limit to the Switch 2's success. Luigi's Mansion is another one, Jeff, that just seems like a year 2 or year 3 thing to me.
Yeah. I mean, you want to specifically avoid the GameCube problem of like people getting their hopes up for a Mario game and having to deal with Luigi's Mansion is great. But it needs to exist outside of that launch period.
Brian says, selfish answer, but I'd like to see Street Fighter 6 get a Switch release just like Mortal Kombat 11 did, complete with crossplay. I imagine it'll mean fewer players, but worth it to get more people into fighting games. Hey, we had Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS. So why the hell not? I hope we can get some version.
Street Fighter 6 on the Switch, and the Switch has 6 face buttons. There you go.
Man, that's not happening. A big sweet button. Revan says, I want Nintendo to finally understand the internet, and the console should come with everything pre-GameCube for free, especially StarCraft 64.
And MAG. For some reason, they just buy MAG from Sony.
They buy the rights to MAG. It'll be the new biggest acquisition in gaming history. It'll cost $200 billion, and they'll own MAG.
I mean, it's massive action game. Yeah, massive acquisition cost.
Massive acquisition game. New Fee Legit says, I'm a man of simple taste. Mario Kart, that is all. Bench Turbo JC says, I'd love to see the Mass Effect games come to Switch. That is all. A lot of people saying that is all.
Yeah. Talk to EA about doing some work on that because still doesn't seem like they have any plans to make that happen, which is just
that's too bad.
Stupid.
Yeah. That'd be like another one that'd be like something relatively easy to do for the launch. Like, hey, you guys can play Mass Effect portably if you haven't gotten your Steam Deck yet, which you probably haven't. Be exciting. Here's a great answer. 1UP versus CPU says Ridge Racer 8. I don't really want to wait for another system, though. It's been way too long since a real Ridge Racer came out. Not counting the microtransaction-filled Vita game and the Unbound games, Ridge Racer 3D, which launched with the 3DS in 2011, was the last one. Jeff, there was for a long time, Ridge Racer games were often launch games. For
absolutely. I mean, that's where the Ridge Racer came. He was like hyping up that was going to be a launch game. On the PSP and the Vita was a launch game. I think it was it's been a launch game on a couple of Nintendo systems at this point. So yeah, like the DS had one, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been the PSP Ridge Racer games were very good. Right. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the greatest looking thing in the world. Like say a Gran Turismo or a Forza does. Just make a fun new Ridge Racer. Make it be a Switch launch game. I'd be so happy. I'd be so freaking happy.
I think at this point you make Ridge Racer a throwback, like a retro style game. You make it look like a PlayStation 1 game, and
I'd be
so
happy.
You play up those elements and you play up that soundtrack. Honestly, you just kind of make it Type 4 and you just make it HD, but still has that same level of polygons. So
Bandai Namco's getting all of this Elden Ring money. Just take a little bit of that and fund a new Ridge Racer. I'd be so happy. Pablo Costa says, well, I was going to say Luigi's Mansion 4, but Dr. Turbo Sus already said it. Instead, I'm going to go with this. Switch 2 should include an M-rated, Eternal Darkness-inspired game that shows both the power of the new hardware and Nintendo's willingness to give older hardcore gamers what they want. I don't think that latter matters anymore. I think they already are giving older hardcore gamers what they want. You know?
Yeah, we are over like, Mad World's finally going to give it was Wii gamers like the adult game. That was a problem for a time. It was never actually a problem, and now everyone realizes like, family games really just mean like everyone wants to play Animal Crossing. That is what older, mature games want. They want something that's like chill and takes their mind off of their real problems using fake problems. Now, I get like some people do want those M-rated games, but I think that's a specific smaller gaming audience than what Nintendo's going for. Nintendo's audience is much bigger than that.
Did somebody recently, like on a YouTube comment or something, tell you to stop talking about Nintendo? It's kiddie games. It was just like man, who even says that anymore?
At first, yes, yeah, I know. It's like that. I'm like, that's from such a different era. Like the idea of kiddie games, but it was like first they're like, Mike, I should have known. I could tell you were into kiddie games, and then I must have said something about Nintendo afterwards. It's like, you too, Jeff? You like kiddie games? I'm like, yes, I love them. Get over it.
My whole timeline is filled with all these adults excited about the Lego Star Wars games. So I just don't think that's the thing
I don't know
anymore.
any kids excited about it, but yes, all these adults are.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's the Bluey of video games.
Yeah.
Ron Robojo says, I would hope to see the next Mario game as a launch title, and while we're at it, how about a Goemon collection and a brand new game in that series?
Yeah, I would like to see a Goemon collection in just whether it's a launch game or not.
You are basically that sidekick character who follows Goemon around. That's you.
Yes, I totally am that. Yes, I've always wanted that for me, and I'm glad someone's finally noticed.
Nintendo Bro says Super Mario Party Superstars. What better way to drive hardware and controller sales than by having all the new players rage and break their consoles in Joy-Con 2s? Imagine the beautiful Mike Minotti rage clips. I tell you what, Mario Party has been working so well as like year 3/year 5 content for the Switch 1. I don't know if they're gonna worry too much about getting as a launch. It's gonna happen eventually because these games.
I bet there's a Mario Party in year 1 because it's the kind of game that people buy. It's like. We get Mario Kart for sure, but if we're gonna get another game, what else are we gonna get? We're gonna get Mario Party, and so I think it serves that family audience really well.
Nukin says Nintendo Land could and should make a comeback. I have inkling that the Switch 2 could be more like the Wii U. Hear me out on how great would it be if the Switch 2 is just a set-top box and the OG Switch functions as the tablet. Maybe a pipe dream, but I think the asymmetric multiplayer of the Wii U is promising. Not screw that. I think another option would be Starfield, since the original launch with Skyrim. Starfield might be a little bit. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm talking about the new Tomb Raider coming.
No, Starfield's not going to be on anything except for an Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've already. Yeah.
How about Skyrim as a launch game for the Switch too?
Yeah, there you go. Yes. No, that would be like it's just Skyrim and a new Mario, and that's it. That's all we're getting.
That's all you get. Jake Bogdanov says, I just want Breath of the Wild 2 to run smoothly, especially when it rains. We'll see.
Now, does he mean in the game or just like when it's raining outside?
Yeah, well, we all know that when it rains outside, performance drops in all Nintendo
it's
games.
electricity. Electricity can't get wet, so.
Yes. Turbo Giggy 64 says, it's time Nintendo brought back Birdman and launched Pilot Wing 64 2 alongside the next Switch. I would actually be really into it if it was Pilot Wing 64 2.
Yes.
And it looked like a Nintendo 64 game. That's like, there are a lot of games where the Nintendo 64 aesthetic is kind of ugly and makes it worse. I like that Nintendo 64 aesthetic with Pilot Wings.
Me too. I really do.
Gerbear says it's a coin toss between Star Citizen and Beyond Good and Evil 2. If Nintendo can't deliver either of those, then I'll reluctantly settle for Project Hammer. He's got jokes, Jeff!
Yes, he does. He's got jokes for days.
The Longest Beard says, Pikmin 4, baby. Who needs a new Mario Zelda game? Olimar is Space Mario, and Korok's got nothing on Pikmin. Pikmin
I'm
4
gonna
has been a
play
popular
Pikmin 3
answer.
Deluxe again. I feel like I love that game so much.
I need to play it at all and maybe
Yes,
finally
it's
get into
really
Pikmin.
good.
We'll see. And then Winnie says, Ice Climbers of the Frozen Wild, a new Ice Climbers game. Man, again, it's like if you want to be weird and maybe experiment with Ice Climbers, a launch window is maybe when you can get away with that.
Yep. Especially for a system that you know is probably going to do pretty well.
Right. Jeff, that is it for the community answers. Did we get any more super chats in during any of that?
I don't know, but I could check. Let me see. I'm going to click this thing here. We have not had anything from since then. Okay, so we have one from Don Utaku, who says, I'm changing my answer to a new Kid Icarus Uprising. It's too good to die with the 3DS and only needs dual stick controls to be a 10 out of 10 game. Now, the amount of time from when Satoru, what's his name? Satoru? No, Sakurai. The time from when he stopped working on Smash Brothers to when a new Switch is going to launch is probably just enough time to make a game. Do you think we get a new Sakurai game to launch alongside a Switch 2?
You know, I don't know about launch. I definitely think he's working on something that isn't Smash Brothers between this and whatever the next Smash Bros. Thing is going to be, whether it's just a port of Ultimate or what have you, or maybe he is actually done with it. I doubt that. I think he is going to get to make something of his own, and I think he'll have some leverage to do what he wants. So if he really does want to actually go back to Kid Icarus, I think he could get away with that.
Now, we've only got one person here talking about a Ubisoft game with Red Steel 3. Now, we know Ubisoft will be there. Do you think it's going to be just a regular like Rabbids game, or do you think it'll be something else? Something like what'll be like Zombie U, like they did?
I don't know. It's like part of me like wishes it would be a new Rayman, but what's his face left, and he's like kind of weird anyway, so Rayman might be done. I don't know if Ubisoft's got anything to offer me that I really want right now, Jeff. I don't know. Maybe they'll port over Valhalla or something like that.
That'll be it. That'll be it.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna have anything too exciting unless they get another like franchise like Mario in some weird, surprising way.
Right.
All right, Jeff. So you've been mostly playing Tunic. I know you've been doing any Nintendo gaming this week.
I check in on Kirby a little bit, but my kids want to be playing that with me, so I'm not making a ton of progress because it's slow going. They honestly, Emmy spent literally an hour just running up to one of the sword guys, waiting for him to swing. She screams in real life and then runs away with Kirby, and then she just does that over and over again, like laughing her head off. So that's how we play Kirby right now. But yeah, man, Tunic needs to come to the Switch so everyone can play it, because once it does, people are gonna really lose their mind. Like if you don't have an Xbox where you can play it on Game Pass right now, and you don't have PC, as soon as you get a chance to play this game, you should. It is the best sort of take on a Zelda game that wasn't made by Nintendo, I think, ever. I've tried a bunch of these, and people always say, this reminds me a lot of like Link to the Past. And I'll try them to be like,
stuff like that.
Death's Door. There was another one, like a 2D one that is on Switch, a Blossom something. I can't remember. If you want to help me out with that. And I'm like, I'm just having trouble getting into this. This one, zero problems getting into it. It's so mysterious. There's so much amazing stuff to keep stringing you along. It needs to come to Switch as soon as possible, so everyone can have the experience that I'm having with it on the Steam Deck, which is ideal and perfect. And again, having it in a handheld form. It creates this like intimate relationship between you and this game, and this game is like so built on like, we're gonna like build you this amazing little world, but like every little nook and cranny could have something amazing. So but kind of like get in there and look, and that feels great. So I'm in love with Tunic. It is fantastic.
I've been playing a bit of it. I'm not in love with it yet, but I've been enjoying it. I got frustrated at one point because I made it to some boss. And that manual, which I love how you pick a piece of the manual, it was literally just like, you shouldn't fight this boss yet. I was like, oh. So I guess I'm just going back where I came and looking for upgrade things. And there's just a lot of backtracking for a bit there. And then I'm wandering into two more areas that the game doesn't want me to be at yet. So I'm just kind of wandering around looking for
you found how to upgrade, right? Like you found the button to upgrade and everything?
Yeah, I know, but I don't have enough things. So I'm just like trying to look for secrets that I somehow haven't found yet. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of wandering around right now and getting slightly frustrated. But I think there is a lot to like about the game. Yeah. I think I may have just left unlucked into taking a bad pass somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm like, I had most of the stuff to upgrade by the time I got to that guy. So
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I must have. Like, part of me almost feels like I accidentally bypassed a chunk of something.
Yeah, you might have.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's
I'm
definitely a lot of ways to do that for sure. So yeah, I would like I said, hug corners. If you see a body of water, there's probably a way across it. If you see waterfalls, there's almost always something behind it.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's like if you see a waterfall, especially early in the game.
Oh yeah, I know they
always
have
something
things
behind a waterfall. Yeah, and that stuff. It's like, yeah, that's that's the way games should be, and this game is that way. So I love it. I'm very deep into it now. So yeah,
cool. Okay, Jeff, I think that's going to do it then. Hey, we got one more from Don Otaku here. It says Death's Door is better than Tunic. That is all. Ooh, spicy take.
Fair enough. I prefer Tunic, but yeah, I'm glad a lot of people really love Death's Door. That's fine.
So our topic for next week, kind of going on with this launch game discussion, is what is the best Nintendo launch game ever? Of which I think I'm going to have a very boring answer, but I think it'll be a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't forget to get on our Discord and tell us that if you're on our special pages. If not, you can do super chats and all that stuff. Jeff, we'll start getting out of here. Hey, I'm going to be streaming more Monkey Island, Secret of Monkey Island tonight, so check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Tokoto. Probably about an hour or two. We're going to beat Monkey Island 1 tonight. I can feel it. We'll be back on Friday.
I will be tuning in tonight.
Ooh, fun. We'll be back Friday with Games Week Decides. Jeff, what's up?
Yeah, hey, that shirt is up, available now. Go to, there's a button below this thing. If you're listening on the podcast, I will put a link to it. It's our Summer Game Mess shirt. It's silly. It's fun. If we get the 50 sold, I'll feel very excited about this in terms of like, oh, this was a success. So like, I didn't think we'd get there. It seems like we're on the pathway to meet there, and I'll feel very good about it. But thank you everybody so far who has purchased a shirt. It means a lot to us. Let's see. Games Beat Decides on Friday. I will probably be streaming my last little bits of setting up Donnie's Steam Deck here pretty soon, putting all those emulators on there. So look out for that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.